Okay, this was a really busy week, so tons of cultivating, planting, bed flipping, getting things trellised, people managing, customer stuff, all that stuff in between. Harvest, helping friends out with other things, so just a bunch of stuff in this video. But we did trellis up here, about 600 plants I think, cucumbers, tomatoes, and so I go over that in the video, and also some carrot germination techniques. Yeah, I'm sure there's some other stuff, don't really remember. But today was market day. We had a really good day, it was cool. Beginning of May, so they were a lot more busy. So yeah, it was just neat. Yeah, next week, a lot of the same thing, but the trellising stuff will turn to pruning. So it'll be about how to prune the tomatoes, how to prune the cucumbers, more planting, more maintenance, everything. Starting seeds today?
Yep. It's more of everything.
More foliar first? More of everything, really. A ton more planting, trellising the tomatoes and cucumbers. We have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 600 plants to trellis up. So yeah, it's gonna be another really busy week. But this time of year really matters that we focus and get stuff done, because a lot of the rest of the season, really the whole year is kind of like this, is predicated on what you do now and what you plan for. And yeah, just the work you do. It's kind of the cool thing about the farming stuff is you directly get out of it what you put in. Granted, you could have a storm and stuff, but the reality is most of the time you can figure it out. Putting this shade cloth back over the spinach because we're gonna have highs in the 80s and then upper 80s. So to reduce the stress and keep these guys growing, because it's a cold season crop, we're just gonna take the stress of the sun off of them. Okay guys, trellising these up, it's really simple. These are called tomahawks. These are tomato clips. That strings down, clips onto the bottom, and then I'm weaving these. So I'm weaving these up the plant because we get wind in these tunnels, and like this is a greenhouse variety. So really in a real greenhouse you can not have as much wind, but that's not the case for us. So really you would just clip the plant up the stem and it would never really be tested by the wind, but for us it's not a reality. So yeah, it's simple. I'll show you. Clip this over the string. Be careful not to break anything. It's the same method for the tomatoes, and there's a whole pruning technique too that I'll go through when that time gets here. Even now, like, we can take the lower fruits off, but some of these beds we're going to leave to get fruits early for the market. Some of the beds we're not, so we can have a better harvest later. And the way that works is the plant's able to focus its energy in the root system instead of the fruit. There's other trellising systems out there. This one was just affordable to us when we started, and they haven't broke yet, so we're still using them. And we're just growing in the caterpillar tunnels. Like, I don't see a reason to spend a bunch of money when you're growing in these structures versus an actual high tunnel. They get the job done. They might take a little more time, but it still works. Doing another bed. So as spring's finally here and summer's almost getting here, I thought I'd share a good tip thing or whatever. 2 shirts in the spring versus 1. On hotter days, it's gonna be 81 a day. Will help your body adjust to the summer heat better because you're intentionally making yourself warmer now. And it makes you sweat more. And it makes you burn off your winter fat faster. Got a lot to harvest today still.
I know. And I spent all day harvesting yesterday.
Yep. So today we're getting the greens. Yesterday we got a lot of the roots. Literally all we did. Yeah, this is the time now where the workload starts getting big. So we got like 6 totes of carrots, 2 totes of beets, a bunch of radishes, a bunch of turnips. We'll probably do like 70 or 80 pounds of salad. As much arugula as we can get. Kale mix. What am I missing? Nothing like a wind advisory that wasn't in any part of the forecast. So it's like 20-mile-an-hour winds, gusts up to 50. So like, come around and tighten up these tunnels, and Adri has to re-hand water the carrot beds, but it's really important because the wind will get underneath the silage tarps that hold the moisture normally and dry the top of the bed out. So we got the hose out here, and Adri's coming through, re-watering these. They're just starting to germinate. So right now when they're getting ready to germinate, that moisture is super critical, especially when it's like 84 right now. They'll dry out super quick. So probably have to do it later again tonight, so it sits wet overnight, and then we get the germination we're trying to get. Windy days like this are a good day to cultivate though. So cultivating the onions. The wind will dry the plants out quick and kill them that way. And right. What? There's the weeds. What's up, George?
Cultivating the onions, getting dirt in my eyes from all this wind.
Hey, first cucumber harvest. Gotta do some flail mowing and put some beds. So as we're getting into the warmer months, we'll still continue to grow root crops and cold season stuff. And one of the tricks for carrots, I'm gonna show you guys. I have a whole nother video on this, so if you've been following along, you probably know that this is what we do. But so almost every bed that we direct seed, instead of having to keep watering it and using all that water just to keep the top of the soil moist, we just put these tarps over top. So this carrot bed right here had this tarp on it with the white side up to hold the moisture in after we hand watered it. You can see the germination here, there. So this whole bed is like that. It's like looking like 100% germination. So now that it's hot today and warm, we're gonna do the same thing we did for the other carrots when Adria was hand watering. We're just gonna hand water these today and keep them wet. Then they'll be able to send their taproot down, get their cotyledons out, get established, and then they should be fine with just the drip tape irrigation. So after the carrots germinate, they can grow fine off the drip tape. So here in plot 10, I'll show you the carrots. They're grown the same exact way with the tarps. So these were grown the same way. Same method with the tarp, same method with the hand watering, same method with the drip tape. Always good to check the soil, see how dry it is, see if you need to irrigate. So here's where they're at in their growth, and yeah, they're doing really good. Another reason we rotary plow the beds and stuff before we build them is because we know we're going to be growing root crops, and root crops need that loose soil and they need actual soil. They're not going to grow that good in just compost. Greens will. Salad greens, head lettuce, arugula, all that stuff. You can just put a bunch of feather meal down on compost and grow your greens in it just fine. But root crops need a little more, and they need actual soil. Here's another spot with beets germinating here. And then where it wasn't covered, it's not germinating. And you don't have to have the tarps. You can use cardboard, you can use row cover, you can use a different kind of tarp. Obviously the tarp will work best because it's plastic and it will hold more moisture, and the white side reflects the sun and keeps the soil temperature cool, as opposed to putting the black side up, which would heat up the soil. So in the winter we'll germinate crops with the black side up because it will warm up the soil, but the rest of the year we use the white side. Update on the onions, they're good. Y'all remember the hedgerow we planted last spring? Trying to get it laid out here. This is it now. So we've got comfrey, elderberry, comfrey, figs that are starting to come back. That persimmon got roasted, that's okay. We're gonna replace it with something different. And then these are service berries. This is my favorite tree. Really good berries. It's a tree that nobody knows about. There's a fig coming back there. Yes, this hedgerow is for pollinators, beneficials, birds. So the birds will be after the service berries for sure. We're gonna put some birdhouses in here. And bumblebees and hummingbirds love the comfrey. There's the comfrey flowers. Pretty excited how good that looks this year. Remember how to use that thing?
No.
So you remember the gears in here? What's going on here, Jordan?
Putting together all the pre-orders.
I always got so much stuff to do.
I don't know. Why do we do this to ourselves?
I don't know. This looks confusing.
Actually, it's really organized.
Oh, it's organized?
Yeah.
Because I didn't do it?
Yeah.